I don't know what happened. Probably me fucking with the buttons. I don't know. This shit happened yesterday when we was live, but I'm sorry. Okay, let's try this shit again. Very, very shitty, shitty immigration policy.
Vice President Biden, your response.
No, it's not.
Release. You know what he's talking about there? If in fact you had a family came across, they were arrested, they in fact were given a date to show up for their hearing. They were released, and guess what? They showed up for a hearing. This is the first president.
Bro, catch and release means that they fucking get into our country by breaking in and then we release them and hope they come back to fucking court. That's what the fuck catch and release means.
That's never happened before in America. You
Bro,
come
he's
to
out
the
of his
United
fucking
States
mind.
and you make your case that you seek asylum based on the following premise.
There's many ways to come to America, but by fucking jumping or coming to the border and attempting to fucking break in is not the right way.
President Trump.
And although many people do that, we need a real path to citizenship. And Barack Obama nor did Joe Biden have anything good to help. It's all bullshit. It's always been bullshit. Yo, I gotta hit up Cox Communications and have them come out and put a fucking hard line to the studio. That's what I think I need.
When you say they come back, they don't come back, Joe. They never come back.
They never come back, Joe.
Really,
They never come back,
I
dog.
hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ, they might come back.
Okay, President Trump, let's give Vice President Biden a chance to
Good to
respond,
know.
and then we're going to move on to the next section.
You don't know shit, Joe.
Know the law, what he's telling you is simply not true.
Well, check it out. They don't come back.
Check it out.
All right, let's move
But
on
we don't have
to
to
the
worry about
next
it because
section.
they terminated it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Let's move on to the next
Kids not knowing where in God's name they're going to be and lost their parents.
Go ahead.
All right, let's talk
Sorry
about
about that.
our next section.
Boom!
which is
Shout out to
race
Cookies
in
one
America.
time.
And I want to
I'm
talk
bo-
about the way
I moved the chair for like 2 seconds and I was out of frame.
in this country. Part of that
Where y'all at?
is something called the talk. It happens regardless of class and income. Parents who feel they have no choice but to prepare their children for the chance that they could be targeted, including by the police, for no reason other than the color of their skin. Mr. Vice President, in the next 2 minutes, I want you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
I do. I do.
Do you?
My daughter is a social worker, and
What?
she's written a lot about this. It's a graduate degree from the University of Pennsylvania in social work. And you know, one of the reasons why I ended up working on the east side of Wilmington, Delaware, which is 90% African American.
Oh, he just worked there because all the black people. That's how y'all gonna let him get away with that?
I had to tell my daughter.
He just worked where all the ghetto kids was, right? When the ghetto kids was touching his fucking legs. Y'all remember that bullshit? Then we went swimming. All the little kids ran up to him and said, "Ooh, can we touch your legs, Mr. Biden?"
No matter how wealthy or how poor they are.
Oh, Mr. Biden, can we please touch your legs? So fucking strange. Ain't wasn't nobody doing that bullshit, bro.
Making sure that you, in fact, if you get pulled over, yes, yes, sir, no, sir, hands on top of the wheel, because you are, in fact, the victim, whether you're a person making child of a $300,000 a year person, or someone who's on
It feels weird to not have on jewelry and to not really be like talking to y'all. I don't know. Maybe one day we'll have like 50,000 people and shit talking shit in here, going crazy. I won't even hit that high. Let's do 50 people. Let's do it, just 50.
This is the first president to come along and says that's
Oh, it's dropping frames.
do that anymore. We have to provide for economic opportunity, better education, better health care, better access to schooling, better access to opportunity to borrow money to start businesses. All the things we can do, and I've laid out a clear plan as to how to do those things, just to give people a shot. It's about accumulating the ability to have wealth as well as it is to be free from violence.
I don't even know what that means.
Same question to you, and let me remind you of the question. I would like you to speak directly to these families. Do you understand why these parents fear for their children?
Yes, I do. And again, he's been in government 47 years
And ain't done shit about it. Talk to him. Talk to him.
Such harm to the black community, and they were called, and he called them super predators, and he said that. He said it, super predators, and they have never lived that down. 1994, your crime bill, the super predators. Nobody has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. And if you look, with the exception,
I can't speak on that. I mean, economically, yes. Everything else, I think there's room for improvement,
what I've done,
honestly.
criminal justice reform.
But I mean, it takes somebody that comes from our neighborhood to be able
I
to
don't even think they tried because they had no chance at doing it.
really make a change because they have to understand it better.
You had to see the arms I had to twist to get that done. It was not a pretty picture, and everybody knows it, including some very liberal people that
I was literally at Best Buy and I still didn't buy a case because I ordered one and it's taking for fucking ever to get here.
we have to defeat him. Criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones with
He's talking some good shit.
great senator from South Carolina. He came in with this incredible idea for opportunity zones. It's one of the most successful programs. People don't talk about it. Tremendous investment is being made. Biggest beneficiary, the black and Hispanic
I mean, look,
communities.
it's real. It's out there. So why didn't Obama do this?
After 3 years of coming to the office, I love some of those guys. They were great. They came into the office and they said, I said, what are you doing? After 3 years, I said, why do you keep coming back? Because we have no funding. I said, you don't have to come back every year. We have to come back because President Obama would never give them long-term funding, and I did. 10-year
Yeah, the
long-term funding,
HBCUs.
and I gave them more money than they asked for because they said, I think you need more. And I said, the only bad part about this is I may never see you again because I got very friendly with them, and they like me and I like them. But I saved it. Colleges and universities.
Okay, and we're going to talk about both.
Did they
of your
censor
arguments,
out
but
black?
your response to that, Vice
My response to that is I never, ever said what he accused me of saying. The fact of the matter is, in 2000, though, after the crime bill had been in law for a while,
Wow, that was
guy who said,
obnoxiously
the
loud.
problem with the crime bill, there's not enough people in jail. There's not enough people in jail. And go on my website, get the quote, the date when he said it. Not enough people. He talked about marauding gangs, young gangs, and the people who are going to maraud our cities. This is a guy who, in the Central Park five innocent black kids, he continued to push for making sure
He was a
they got
public
the death
citizen.
penalty. None of them were guilty of the crimes they were suggested. Look, and talk about granted, he did in fact let 20 people, he commuted 20 people sentences. We commuted over 1,000 people sentences. Over 1,000. The very law he's talking about is a law that in fact initiated by Barack Obama. And secondly, we're in a situation here where the federal prison system was reduced by 38,000 people under our administration. And one of these things we should be doing, there should be no minimum mandatories in the law. That's why I'm offering $20 billion to states to change their state laws to eliminate minimum mandatories and set up drug courts. No one should be going to jail because they have a drug problem. They should be going to rehabilitation, not to jail. We should fundamentally change the system, and that's what I'm going to do.
Why didn't he do it 4 years ago? Why didn't you do that 4 years ago, even less than that? Why didn't you do it? You were vice president. You keep talking about all these things you're going to do, and you're going to do this. But you were there just a short time ago, and you guys did nothing.
We did.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you.
I mean, honestly,
Because of Barack
I ain't got nothing to say. He's
You did a
spitting.
poor job. If I
He
thought
is
you did a good
spitting.
job, I would have never run. I would have never run.
questions for both of you.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That boy Rio, boy.
To me, because what's happening here is, you know who I am, you know who he is, you know his character, you know my character, you know our reputations for honor and telling the truth.
Russia hoax?
And
You
that's
got it.
Oh, I got it back.
This
That's
way you're going.
exactly what.
I think I got it back.
He's going. The laptop is Russia, Russia,
Gentlemen,
Russia.
I want to stay on the issue of race.
You
okay?
have to be kidding. Here we
Mr.
go again.
President,
With
You
Russia.
have to be kidding.
continue on the issue of race. Mr. President, you've described the black
He said he can't
lives matter
fucking believe it.
as a symbol of hate.
I can't believe it either.
Video of a
I
man
cannot believe that nobody else has seen the pictures of his son smoking crack and is legit as fuck. I figured out this fucking sound thing.
What do you say to Americans who
That's
say
exciting.
that kind of language
I'm excited. And I should be have used the other camera and not this one, but
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting "pigs in a blanket." talking about this.
chill,
Pigs,
Trump.
pigs, talking
Trump.
about police. Pigs in a blanket.
Oh, Trump.
Like bacon.
Buddy, buddy,
I said,
buddy.
That's a horrible thing. And they were
Buddy,
marching down the
buddy,
street.
buddy.
And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought.
I mean, impressions are everything.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have
All
a great
people.
relationship.
He has a great relationship with all people.
I am the least racist.
I love how it's always the greatest and the best with everything.
Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric
I
and
don't know.
by
I
that
mean, I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison reform and opportunity zones. I took care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say.
Nobody
They
knows.
can say anything. I mean, they can say anything. It's a very
No, 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 no,
makes
no,
me
no,
sad
no.
because I am the least
Mhm.
racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so
Baby,
dark.
don't worry, you
But I don't
know
care
that
who's
you
in the
got
audience. I'm the
me.
least racist
He doesn't
person.
care who's in the audience.
Okay, Vice President Biden, let me ask you very quickly, and then I have a follow-up question for you.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on
Abraham
every
Lincoln.
single racist fire. Every single one. Started off his campaign coming down the escalator saying he's going to get rid of those Mexican rapists. He's banned Muslims because they're Muslims. He has moved around and made everything worse across the board. He says about the poor boys, last time we were on stage here, he said, I told them to stand down and stand ready. Come on.
He didn't say that.
Dog whistle about as big as a
Don't
dog.
do that.
President Trump, I'm going to give you 10
Don't
seconds
do
to
that.
respond, and then I have a follow-up.
You made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
You said
where
you're
did
Abraham
that,
Lincoln.
No, where did that? No.
Trump ain't never said he was Abraham Lincoln. That's funny.
Anybody done
That's
what
fucking
I've done
funny.
for the black community.
And I'm
I
saying,
didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not.
He said, bitch, I'm Donald Trump. You heard him? The fuck?
Anybody done.
Wasn't out here playing with you when he said that shit.
Now you have done nothing other than the crime bill, which put
oh God.
He's not lying.
thousands of black men, mostly in
Tens of
jail.
thousands.
All right, let me
Tens of thousands of black men in jail, thanks to Biden.
let me ask Vice President Biden.
It's not a lie.
It's
not a lie.
What's happening out there?
Vice President Biden, let me give you a chance to respond within this context. Crime bills that you supported in the 80s and 90s contributed to the incarceration of tens of thousands of young black men who had small amounts of drugs in their possession. They are sons, they are brothers, they're fathers, they're uncles, whose families are still to this day, some of them suffering the consequences. So speak to those families.
I hate
Why
when
should they vote for
I
you?
ain't even gonna say
One of
that
the
shit.
things
Keep
is
my
that
mouth
in
shut.
the 80s, we passed 100%, all 100 senators voted for it, a bill on drugs.
But you've been doing shit since the 80s.
I've been arguing that
'Cause your son's a
black men
crackhead?
should not send anyone to jail for a pure drug offense. They should be going into treatment across the board. That's what we should be spending money on. That's why I set up drug courts, which were never funded by our Republican friends. They should not be going to jail for a drug or an alcohol problem. They should be going into
My bad. In my breathings, I got like a real fat breathe right now. That sounds a little corona-y.
That's what I'm
But
going
I just put on some weight after
People have
my grandma passed, and
it was a mistake to pass
you
those
know, it's been
laws.
shit. It's been
They were
shit.
not in the crime bill.
But why didn't he get it done? See, it's all talk, no action with these politicians.
All talk, no
Why
action.
didn't he get it done? That's what I'm going to do when I become president. You were vice president along with Obama as your president, your leader, for 8 years. Why didn't you get it done?
Why didn't you
8
get it
years to
fucking
Now
done?
you're saying
Let's
you
talk
did
about it.
Because you're all talk and no action, Jim.
We got a lot of it done. We released 38,000. We got
No, you didn't.
38,000 prisoners left from
You got
out-
nothing.
They ain't got shit done.
38,000 prisoners were released from federal prison. There were over 1,000 people who were given.
You just released a bunch of people for fucking weed charges.
We're the ones that put in the legislation saying we could look at pattern and practice of police departments and what they were doing, how they were conducting themselves. I could go on, but we began the
Nope.
process. We began the process. We lost an election. That's why I'm running to win back that election and change his terrible policy.
I just asked
And then we're gonna move on
one
to
question.
climate change.
Why didn't you do it in the 8 years, a short time ago?
Why ain't you doing it in the
Why
40
didn't you
fucking
do it? You
years?
just said, I'm
I gotta
gonna
stop
go back,
seeing
I'm
myself.
gonna do this. You put tens of thousands of mostly black young men in prison.
Why don't we hold
You're gonna get
Biden accountable for everything he didn't do? How come it's always Trump?
Obama. You know
Just
why?
asking.
Because you're all talk and no action.
All
Vice
talk.
President Biden, and then we're gonna
They
move on to the
all
next section.
talk.
We had a Republican Congress.
What you mean? The fuck that mean?
You gotta talk them into it, Joe.
All right. Move on to our next section.
You gotta talk him into it, Joe.
I had to talk Democrats into it.
Gentlemen,
Mm.
we're running out of
Hey,
time,
he's
so we
he's
gotta
up
get on
against
to
the
climate
Democrats, so I
change.
mean he does make a good
You
point.
both have very
Gotta
different
talk him into
visions
it.
on climate change. President Trump
The fuck are
keeps
you
saying
checking your watch
environmental
for? Where you gotta be?
hurt jobs in the energy
Where you
sector.
gotta be?
Vice President Biden, you have said you see addressing climate change as an opportunity to create new jobs. For each of you, how would
Hey,
you both combat climate
I'm keeping
change
all this shit
and
here
job
until they hit
growth
me
at
up.
the same
And when they hit
time?
me up, you're gonna see that shit
Trump,
bubble up.
you have 2 minutes
Man, I just want to start with Rockstar again,
We have
by the way.
Trillion Trees
It's an again thing.
program. We have so many different programs.
The Trillion Tree
Improve the
program.
environment, but what I
If
want
you
is
ain't
the
know about it, now
cleanest
you know.
crystal clear water, the cleanest air. We have the best, lowest number in carbon emissions, which is a big standard that I notice Obama goes with all the time. Not Joe. I haven't heard Joe use the term because I'm not sure he knows what it represents or means, but I have heard Obama use it. And we have the best carbon emission numbers that we've had in 35 years under this administration. We are working so well with industry, but here's what we can't do. Look at China, how filthy it is. Look at Russia. Look at India. It's filthy. The air is filthy. The Paris Accord, I took us out because we were going to have to spend trillions of dollars, and we were treated
Trillions.
very unfairly. When they put us in there, they did us a great disservice.
Yo,
They
and
wanna
for
take
everybody
away our
watching,
businesses.
we're just
I
listening to the
will
debate and
not
talking shit.
sacrifice
I'm not. That's why I'm not
tens of
even.
millions
I'm
of
trying to figure out what's really
jobs,
going
thousands
on.
of
And I'm
thousands
sorry,
of companies
when I do
because
my
of
talk show, when we do the
Paris
podcast,
Accord.
I have
It was
topics
so
and shit.
unfair.
For this, I
China
really have
doesn't
nothing.
kick in until 2030. Russia goes back to a low standard, and we kicked in right away.
Right away.
It would have
Kicked in
destroyed our business.
right away.
So, you ready? We have done an incredible job environmentally. We have the cleanest air, the cleanest water, and the best carbon emissions.
All types of
that
clean
we've
shit.
seen in many, many years.
Many fucking years.
Vice President
And we
Biden.
haven't destroyed our industries.
Vice President Biden, 2 minutes to you, uninterrupted.
2 minutes to you.
Climate change, climate warming, global warming is an existential threat to humanity.
No, it isn't.
We have a moral obligation.
Do you think the dinosaurs thought that?
We're told by all the leading scientists in the world we don't have much time. We're going to pass the point of no return within the next 8 to 10 years. 4 more years of this man.
My bad, I can't help
eliminating all
rubbing
the
my stupid
regulations that were
mustache.
put in by us
It's a terrible
to
habit.
clean
It's
up the climate,
a twitch of
to
mine or
clean
some
up,
shit.
to limit the limit of emissions will put us in a
The limit of the
position
emissions.
where we're going to be in real trouble. Here's where we have a great opportunity. I was able to get both all the environmental organizations as well as labor, people worried about jobs, to support my climate plan. Because what it does, it will create.
All right, y'all. I gotta use the bathroom, so I gotta hit y'all with the be right back thing.
We're going to invest
Pow.
in, for example,
Nope, I didn't do it.
500,000, 50
Yo, so for everybody that's watching, we're just watching the debate live and talking about it.
Barrels of oil in the
Sorry it took me
process
so long to
and
come back,
creating
but let's get back
significant
into
number
it.
of jobs. And by the way, the whole idea of
Boom.
what this is
Talk to me.
going to create millions of jobs, and it's going to
You
clean
can't create millions of jobs with that plan that he has because that plan is going to take tax people's dollars. So they're going to tax you to go to work. That shit don't make sense.
My plan will in fact create 18.6 million jobs, 7 million more than his. This is from
Bullshit.
and I'll create $1 trillion more in economic growth than his proposal does. Not on climate, just on the economy.
President Trump, you're
They came out and said very strongly $6,500 will be taken away from families under his plan, that his plan is an economic disaster. If you look at what he wants to do, if you look at his plan, his
Nothing to do with
environmental
climate.
plan, you know who developed it? AOC plus 3. They know nothing about the climate. I mean, she's got a good line of stuff, but she knows nothing about the climate.
She don't know shit.
Hoops for AOC plus 3. Look, a real plan costs $100 trillion. If we had the best year in the history of our country for 100 years,
My bad. Is my fat breathing?
not even come close to a number like that. When he says buildings, they want to take buildings down because they want to make bigger windows into smaller windows. As far as they're concerned, if you had no window, it would be a lovely thing. This
Yeah,
is the
they want to put
craziest
you in some
plan
crazy ass
that
jail.
anybody has ever seen. And this wasn't done by smart people. This wasn't done by anybody. Frankly, I don't even know how it can be good politically. They want to spend $100 trillion. That's their
Tax
real number. I
money.
was trying to say it was
It's $100 trillion of tax dollars.
$100 trillion. They want to knock down buildings and build new buildings with little, tiny, small windows. I mean, and many other things.
Okay.
And
You
many other
understand
things.
that by using tax people's money to put them to work, it defeats the purpose of creating jobs?
President, I have a number more questions.
I don't know where he comes from. I don't know where he comes up with these numbers. $100 trillion. Give me a break. This plan is endorsed by every major environmental group and every labor group. Labor, because they know the future lies. The future lies in us being able to breathe, and they know there are good jobs in getting us there. And by the way, the fastest growing industry in America is the solar energy and wind. He thinks wind causes cancer, windmills. It's the fastest growing jobs, and they pay good prevailing wages, 45, 50 bucks an hour. We can grow and
Yo, prevailing wages, you still talking about tax money. What the fuck don't you understand that taking money from other people does not equal fuck up, right? Hold on, let me get this shit. Let me tell you something. The green anything doesn't work. It doesn't create any jobs. The fact that they think that they're going to create 11 million jobs by taking somebody's fucking money and distributing it to other people, that makes no sense. Because you're going to get all this money, $100 trillion from the taxpayers, to do what? To do what? To refit and retrofit buildings across the country and some cockamamie shit when you make it seem like global warming only exists in fucking America. Shout out to Gweech. He a real one. Let's go back into the into the chat mode. It's bullshit.
Get rid of your oil industry. You want and what about fracking?
All right, let me have
Yeah, talk about that fracking.
to respond.
never said I oppose fracking.
You said it.
Yeah, he did.
I did. Show the tape. Put it on your website.
Put it on.
Put it on the website. The fact
Put it
of the
up.
matter is,
We saw it. We seen it.
Would you rule out banning fracking?
My bad. I didn't mean to hit that.
fracking, because the answer we need other
Gweech is famous.
industries.
So I'm popping.
Transition to get
Yee.
ultimately a complete zero emissions by 2025.
Why us? Why is it that we have to do everything? Why can't the fucking Green New Deal or the whole fucking thing come together with other fucking people?
Emissions from gas. We can do that, and we can do that by investing money and doing it. But it's a transition to that.
I have one more question in this pod, and then
Excuse me.
we have.
He was against fracking. He said
It's a
it.
fact.
I will show that to you tomorrow. I am against fracking until he got the nomination.
Couple
went to
times.
Pennsylvania. Then he said, "But you know what, Pennsylvania? He'll be against it very soon because his party is totally against it."
Fracking on federal land, I said. No fracking and or oil on
Man, shut the fuck up. No, you didn't. Oh shit, my bad. No. My bad. We back. fucking ads. So what y'all think? How y'all feeling? Because this is it's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch Biden think that he's really gonna sway the people by saying he's creating all this work that pays prevailing wage, which is still taxpayers' dollars. Doesn't make any fucking sense. It's federal funding. The feds don't make any money. You do know that the federal government does not have a job. They don't make any money. Their money comes from taxes, our taxes, my taxes, your taxes. So when they're paying out money, that's tax money. This shit don't make no sense.
I would transition. That is a big statement because I would stop.
I love how Trump does that shit.
The oil industry pollutes significantly. Here's the deal. But you can't do that. Well, if you let me finish the statement,
Fuck you.
because it has to be replaced by renewable energy over time. Over time. And I'd stop giving to the oil industry, I'd stop giving them federal subsidies. You won't give federal subsidies to
These
the
electrolytes are
the
crazy.
gas, excuse me, to the solar.
Juvenile got a new song? My bad. See, that's why I can't be on YouTube.
We actually do
That's funny. Don't go check out Hotep right now. Wait till we're done. And then go check out Hotep. But Hotep's that's my boy.
The oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you
Okay.
remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President Biden, let me give you 10
Everybody
seconds.
remember that.
We have to get to
That's
the
basically what he's saying.
Vice President Biden.
Because he's taking away all your fucking work.
out of context, but the point is,
No.
we have to move toward
Bruh.
net zero emissions. The first place to do that by the year 2035 is in energy production, by 2050 totally.
All right. One
Is he
final
gonna get
question
China to
vote.
do it?
No, we're
China.
finished. We have to move on to our final
China.
question.
We're going to rejoin Paris Accord and make China.
Fuck the Paris Accord. It never worked. All they did was drain us for our money.
Leadership, gentlemen.
They blame us for creating global warming when we've been the cleanest country in the world for many, many years.
What will you say?
The planet is more green now than it's ever been, by the way. There's more plants on Earth right now than there's ever been. They don't talk about that, but that's a fact. You can Google that type of shit. Duck, duck, go.
As it was prior to the plague coming in from China. Now we're rebuilding it, and we're doing record numbers, 11.4 million jobs in a short period of time, etc.
Etc.
Go back.
Go back.
Before the plague came in, just before, I was getting calls from people that were not normally people that would call me. They wanted to get together. We had the best black unemployment numbers in the history of our country.
He accentuates that shit. Black.
Asian people with
Yeah.
diplomas, MIT graduates, number one in the
No, Trump is chopping them up left to right.
And you know
It's
what?
fucking
The other
great.
side wanted to
Trump,
get together.
Trump,
They wanted to
Trump
unify.
is chopping his
Success
ass
is
up.
going to bring us together.
I wonder if I
We
can
are
put
on
the
the
Facebook
road
chat
to
stream in
success.
there.
I'm cutting taxes,
I
and
guess
he
the
wants
chat
to
thing don't
raise
work in here like I
everybody's
wanted to.
taxes, and he wants to put new
I
regulations
wonder
on
if that's just
everything.
Twitch.
He will kill it. If he gets in, you will have a depression the likes of which you've never seen. Your 401k
We're gonna figure this out.
hell.
By the next one, I'll have this
Very
shit figured
sad
out.
day for this
Cause I wanna talk shit with all
Vice
my
President
people.
Biden, same question to you. What will you say during your inaugural address to Americans who did not?
Well, first off, he would have to have one.
I'm an American
I don't
president.
see it happening.
I represent all of you.
No, you don't.
Voted for me or against me. And I'm going to make sure that you're represented. I'm going to give you hope. We're going to move. We're going to choose science over fiction. We're going to choose
My bad.
hope over fear. We're going to choose to move forward because there's enormous opportunities to make things better. We can grow this economy. We can deal
Oh, I
with
think that's the
systemic
super
racism.
chat.
At the same time,
That's
we can make
YouTube.
sure that our economy is being run and moved and motivated by.
I just can't believe Biden. He just doesn't sound like he's got it in him to do what he says he's gonna do.
And that's
Just being honest.
That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to say, as I said at the beginning, what is on the ballot here is the character of this country. Decency, honor, respect, treating people with dignity, making sure that everyone has an even chance. And I'm going to make sure you get that. You haven't been getting it the last 4 years.
All right. I want to thank you both for a very robust hour and a half, a fantastic debate. Really appreciate it. President Trump, former Vice President Joe Biden, thank you to Belmont University for hosting us
Well,
tonight. And most importantly, thank you to those watching
I mean, that was
tonight.
pretty dope.
Election Day is November
It wasn't
3rd.
it wasn't
Don't forget to vote.
the greatest, but that shit was fun. I had fun doing this. It ain't something I really think I'm gonna do though. Like I'm not really a fan of the whole reacting thing unless we have like a good audience. So let's see if we build this shit up and we can do this more often. But that was great. Tomorrow we're gonna have a podcast. so that we can talk about this in more detail. I'd like to really dissect a couple of things that were said because I feel like maybe people have forgotten where look, you can say that Obama left a growing economy for Trump. You can say that Trump hasn't done anything for any minority group, black, Spanish, Asian, whatever the case is, however you feel about that in your community. One thing's for sure. Joe Biden has been a politician and a public servant for over 40 years and hasn't accomplished shit. Like, there's nothing that he's accomplished. Donald Trump has been a politician for 3 years now, and he's accomplished many things. I urge you to vote on policy. I'm not here to tell you that Trump loves black people. I'm not here to tell you that Biden hates black people. Never been for that. But I am here to tell you that Joe Biden has no fucking clue as to how an economy works. And that's mostly because most of these people come into, excuse me, that's a terrible sentence. The reason why he doesn't understand the economy is because he's been in politics for so long. It takes a business person to really understand how to make things work in a broader. He paints. Joe Biden likes to paint with a paint roller. We live in a country that's very, very diverse and very different. When you hear Joe Biden say $15 minimum wage, you should spit at the fucking floor that he stands on. You do not want $15 an hour. Anybody that thinks $15 an hour is a livable wage, do the math. You're basically making what? $400 a week? Let's see if you get 40 hours, because that's what they don't talk about. They don't talk about the fact that if you do get 15 an hour, now your employee might only give you 25 hours. Let's just say you're working 15 an hour because you finally got that raise at 25 hours a week. That puts you at $375 a week. Let's give you the full 40 at 15. That's $600 a week. After taxes, you taking home probably $480, $490. Maybe a little bit more. So $400 a week. That's what you fighting for? How about you fight for better education so that you can go get a real job that pays real money? How about you stop fighting for minimum wages? That's the problem. What you're fighting for is something that's ridiculously low bar. And all you're doing is affecting small businesses because, first off, minimum wages shouldn't even be a thing. They were necessary in the 40s and the 50s and 30s, back when people were robbing us and we weren't being treated fairly when we worked. Unions came about because of the same thing. Like right now, I don't see how a union even makes any fucking sense. They don't provide anything different that businesses and companies couldn't live up to those standards. Like the Las Vegas Strip is built by the union, and you can do the same shit with non-union workers and pay even better. Got guys out here from other states taking jobs for locals because it's union, and some guys aren't union. It's things like that we need to address. I saw somebody comment as to why didn't Trump or Biden discuss why young black people are in poverty. Well, I can tell you, we started at a different time period than white people. So when you look at your poverty, you need to not look at where white people are and where you are or where you were birthed at, and you need to just pay attention as to what you're going to do to either get the fuck out of there or enrich your mind so that you can provide a service for somebody to give you money for and get your life right. That's it. We don't pick why we're born poor. You want to put a finger and blame anybody? Blame your parents for not doing it right. I blame my grandparents. Why the fuck didn't y'all buy land? Y'all could have done something to help us, but they didn't. And unfortunately, when we have politicians dangling fake money in front of our face and we don't know where it comes from, it really affects the psyche, because now you're just like sitting there asking for help that doesn't exist. And without help to give, politicians don't exist. You'll never hear a politician come out and say, the economy's great, we're going to keep things running smooth. Sometimes that's all you need to do. And you're not in poverty because of your fucking skin color. Like, that's not a thing. Like, nobody just grabbed everybody. Yeah, there were ghettos built, but the ghettos were fucking diverse. Like, I grew up in New York City. My ghetto was super diverse. You could say all of us were minorities thrown in there, and we were, but shit, we all made it out. Now, y'all know where I stand on police reform. Y'all know how I feel about that. But our biggest weaknesses that we need to really concentrate on is education, and then a better literature and a better way that we communicate economics with younger people so that they understand and start looking at problems from up down instead of down up. It's a different view from down here because you look at it in desperation. But if you can look at things from the top down and go, okay, now I understand why, and then you make your move accordingly, that's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. So we'll dig into this tomorrow's show. Let me put together some things. Let me get some statistics together. I appreciate everybody that came through and talk shit. Shout out to Gweech for commenting. You a real one. Everybody check out his music, Gweech. He's everywhere. He's fucking famous. Gweech, I think it is. My bad if I spelled it wrong. I can't spell. I'm a rapper. My name's Kasabian Lavoe. And this was Kasabian's